What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Shawn Showtime Porter, Andy Ruiz, and Daniel Dubois. Get this. According to Shawn Showtime Porter, Shawn states that he would love to see Andy Ruiz back into the ring, and he would love to see him back into the ring with Daniel Dubois. He said, I like the Dubois fight. It makes a lot of sense. I think that fight could happen, and that would be a very good fight to make. And he said, shout out to Triple D, because Triple D fought himself out of a reputation, and we'll talk about in Counterpunch as well. So, speaking of counterpunching, let me counterpunch. I like that fight. There's so many different fights that we could see. And they don't all have to be champions, because there's only two, soon to be one champion, okay? So meanwhile, we don't have to worry about who's the best and who's not the best, because we will see who passed the test next month, okay? That being said, there's other fighters that needs to make themselves known. Other former fighters, former champions. We have the WBA versus the IBF. The WBA and the WBO former unified champion, Andy Ruiz, right? And I like that fight because Daniel Dubois is a guy that proved that he can box and move. He proved that he has discipline. He proved that he can stick to a game plan. He proved that he can take a shot without taking the knee. He proved a lot of things in that fight. So the question would be, could Daniel Dubois beat Andy Ruiz? And in short, yes, he can. I think he would have to stick to the game plan of boxing, because one thing about Andy Ruiz may be fast with combinations. He may be a very hard hooker, a very good puncher. But one thing about Andy Ruiz is not an attack initiator. He cannot attack, or he will not attack, okay, unless he sets a trap or he waits for a counter. That's the only thing that Andy will do. Andy, if you look at any Andy Ruiz fight, he will either come in with a double jab, okay? And that's pretty much his testament of attack. Everything else, it has to be a trap, or it has to be set up by something the other fighter does. What we seen with Daniel Dubois, we seen Daniel Dubois work the jab and move. Work the jab and move. When in doubt, jab, then grab. You know what I mean? Then set those shots up, repeat the process. That's how you box effectively without getting hit and taking a lot of punishment. Okay? We seen that against Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller thought, hey, I'm going to take this guy's shots, but he couldn't take them all night. Okay? So along with those shots and the fatigue of getting tired, that came together as a force for his decline. That could happen to Andy Ruiz, especially a person that has been inactive like Andy Ruiz has. Okay, so it would be better for Daniel Dubois than Andy Ruiz ever. Andy Ruiz would have to show how good a shape he's in, and has to really hurt Daniel Dubois. However, will that be an easy fight for Dubois? No, because Andy Ruiz is no Jarrell Miller. Andy Ruiz, his upper body movement, the things that he's able to do as far as setting up traps and the slipping and the dipping, you know what I mean? And the weaving and the bobbing, those type of things can create a lot for him, especially against someone like Daniel Dubois that is not as fast as Anthony Joshua. Okay, but he's definitely faster than Jarrell Miller. Okay, so I think that would be a good fight to have. I would pick Daniel Dubois right now simply because Daniel Dubois is younger. Daniel Dubois shows that he can box for 10 rounds, okay? And Andy Ruiz has a lot to prove to us since his last fight with an old Cuban that is at least 50-something. Okay, so that's not really a high accomplishment for him, but he did go 12 rounds. But how long ago was that? That was last year, okay? So, no, that was the year before last. I'm sorry. We are in a new year. That was 2022 when he fought Luis Ortiz, okay? So he has a lot to prove, and he has a lot to show people. So I'm with Shawn Showtime Porter on that. I do want to see that fight. I want to see how Andy handles someone that's going to box and move, because if anybody knows anything about Andy Ruiz, he has a beard. This man has a chin. So he's going to take punches, and he's going to take them again and again. Bars. So I think, if anything, that would be a good matchup. Daniel Dubois versus Andy Ruiz. You guys tell me what you think. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.